Hey guys, welcome back to Dueling Destination. So today I have an update to my Salamangreat deck profile. I took this to locals this past weekend. It worked very great. I did a lot of meta matches and I like that because it gave me a lot more experience on what I need to change within the deck. And there are some changes that I'll be making, so look out for that deck profile. Remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends as we've been growing pretty good. We're very close to the 100 mark, so if you haven't subscribed yet, give me a subscribe there and we can get to the 100 subscription mark that I really want to get to. So let's go straight into the deck profile. I'll try to keep it as fast as I can and I'll explain to you guys why I'll be changing some cards in the future. So look out for the deck profile. So I'm working with triple copies of Gazelle. This is your main card you want to see. This is essentially the Foolish Burial of the deck and it gives you a lot of combo plays. This card is so great, you cannot be running it in less than 3 copies. I'm using triple copies of Spinny. I see people use only double copies. I believe I used to use only double copies as well, but I decided to bump it up to triple copies as it gives me a lot of extending plays, and I realized that people actually try to call by the grave my Spinny, and sometimes you lose it and you need it later on in the game if it's a grindy game. But other than that, you should be winning by the time you have triple copies in the graveyard. I'm using triple copies of the Buffalo card, which this past weekend worked fairly good for me, but I do think I'm going to change one of them to a Lady Debug, so it gives me a bit more extenders. And just having these guys for draw power is good, but sometimes I do need the Lady Debug. I'm using double copies of Foxy. Foxy is something I just reduced the day of the tournament, but I've decided I definitely need to run another copy of Foxy because of some of the cards I actually got at the tournament. So I'll be doing changes on this. I'm using one Falco, one Jaguar, one Fowl. So other these guys, I actually am thinking that I'm gonna bump this guy up to double copies of Fowl. I see one of my teammate Tristan's been using it and it's been working great. So he sent me his deck profile before and I just did some adjustments on it so I could see how it works for me. And I've decided I'm gonna do a bit more changes on it. But Jaguar is something that you would want to see also too. Not too sure about it yet, but Fall definitely going to 2 on the next build, guys. So look out for that. I'm using only one Crusadia. This guy, I think I might bump him up to 2 because I did not see him all weekend. I really wish I did, but there was almost no situation that I see him. In most matches, I would easily win the match pretty fast or lose the match pretty fast. If you break, you break, but this guy was never in my hand. So I might bump him out to 2 to see really if he's really that good at I need him. I'm using triple copies of Ash Blossoms. It's just something generic that you need in the format. And running triple copies is good. I was thinking of cutting it down to 2 because I can recycle Ash Blossoms a lot. But I'm just keeping it at 3 because I really want to see Ash in my hand. I decided to run 2 copies of Effect Veiler. I might bump this guy up to triple copies. It's something very useful, but sometimes very bricky at some points, I want to say. But for the most part, I like Effect Veiler because Effect Veiler does not respect chains. And you can just interrupt any play in the mirror match with Effect Veiler. One of the cards that I actually got at the day of the tournament that I just hurry switched in, that's what I took out a Foxy for, was 1 copy of Signet Mining. Signet Mining is very strong, but because you have to discard a card from hand to grave, I believe Foxy is going to work even better now. And I might bump Signet Mining up to 2 as I just saw it one duel and it actually won me that duel as I saw it, so it helped out me a lot. I'm using 1 copy of Foolish Burial. Having Foolish Burial in the deck is really an extender. It's just like having a Gazelle. And sometimes you just have 1 Gazelle in hand and you'd want to send that Roar with Gazelle and you still need Spit in the grave, so having Foolish Burial works out pretty fine. I like that. Will of the Salamangreat. This was amazing this past weekend. My opponent left this on the field after 2 turns and I could actually bring back my monsters and end up winning that duel over there. So this is great. I just see myself playing 1 though. Fusion of Fire. This card is a good card, but I don't know how I feel about it. I believe Super Poly would be better for me. I am signing 2 Super Poly, but I believe I should start maining them, as this card is searchable and you can get it easily to your hand, but if you just draw into it, it's still okay. But Super Poly is just a better card overall. One of the few spell card. This was good. I like this because I could always bring this back, and just having that ability to bring this back to my hand helped me a lot. So just one should be enough. I decided to main two Twin Twisters because I had a lot of fear that there was a Mystic Mind deck in the local tournament. There was one, but I never faced it, so I'm happy for that. But this guy was pretty good in the mirror match, but in most cases I would go like 2-1 with Roar. So I'm trying to figure out if Twin Twister is something I want to take out and start maining MST. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about having MST in my main deck. I'm also using triple copies of Call by the Grave. This deck is a very heavy combo deck, and this guy actually helped me in offense and defense a lot during the turn. Just being able to actually banish that Kagari that is at 1 now helps a lot, and just having the ability to fight against a lot of the meta with Call by the Grave is very important for me. I'm using, of course, triple copies of Circle. This is the Rhoda for the deck. It just gives you additional monsters, and I've been using Circle a lot to actually bait out the Roar, because a lot of people would think I only have Circle, I need to search something out. But by baiting out the Roar, Circle gives me a very good play. I'm using one Rage. Rage has been working pretty good for me. I'm thinking of actually bumping this guy up to 2. I want to see Rage more in hand. And it's an interruption. Once your opponent summons 2 monsters, clear them out and you have interruption. I decided to use 2 copies of Roar. In the combos I can get 1 of the Salamangreat Roar, but 1 Roar is 1 negation and you can bring it back later on, and it's once per turn, but sometimes just having 2 of them, it gives you, I believe, more playability. So I might bump these guys up to 2 each or reduce 1 Roar. I decided to go with a Solemn package in my sense, and I decided 2 Summon Strikes, 1 Warning, but for me the Warning didn't do as much as I needed it to do, so I'm probably gonna cut this guy off and do triple Solemn Strikes. First of all, because it's 500 life points less, it almost does the same as a Warning, except that it doesn't negate the normal summon. Normal summon is important, but sometimes the special summon, to me, is valued even more. I decided to use 1 Impermanence. Impermanence came in very important for me, very good. And just having 1 in the deck, if I ever get another Impermanence, I'll probably use 2 of them now. Even though I'm using Effect Veiler, just having the ability to negate my opponent helps me a lot. And I decided to main deck 1 Crackdown. I did not see this card a lot. I just saw it against my Subterror matchup, and the guy wasn't ready. I took his Guru. Very funny story. I actually used Witch's Strike on him, and at that point he just gave up because I had won game 1. Game 2 he let me go first. I built my board and I had Witch's Strike on the ground. I took his monster, and as I was gonna actually go into my place, he negated one of my cards with Fiendish, and I Witch's Strike him and he lost the game then. So he just gave up in that whole game. It was pretty funny though. The guy was a super nice guy, so that was good. For the extra deck, I'll be changing up some stuff, but for now, I have 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Borlo. I did this a lot during the weekend. It was very good, and 1 of the Chimera. Chimera was great in this whole weekend also. It won me a lot of games and actually helped me get over some big monsters. Borlo was great, and for the same reason, it got me over a lot of big monsters. I have also 1 Dweller. I didn't see this all weekend. This guy was amazing, number 41. Number 41 gave me a lot of the defense when I needed it, and it was good just being able to negate some of my opponent's monster effects. It just let me play the duel the way I wanted it to. 1 Stalio. Stalio was great too. I've been using Stalio for a while, but this weekend I utilized Stalio so much. I had a lot of fun actually playing this deck this weekend. I decided to use only 1 of the Hita. Hita was good, but in most cases it would get Veiler, Ogre. But the effect in the graveyard worked pretty fine for me also. I use triple copies of this guy here. And what had happened with him is that I've been recycling these guys a lot, so that helped me, and just having protection in graveyard helps me a lot. Sunlight Wolf is one card, sorry, that I think is still important in the deck, and just having copies of this guy and recycling him helped me to just get advantage on the board and continue searching my cards and adding them to hand. One card that really did a lot for me was double copies of the Heat Leo. Heat Leo helped me a lot this weekend because getting over the big monsters with my Salamangreat monsters made me win games, and just having that engrave effect that I can reduce the opponent's monsters by monsters in my graveyard gave me a fighting chance. Now for the side deck. For the side deck, I decided to run double copies of Parancatops, one of the best cards in your side deck. For any other duelists out there, you should always have these guys. These guys are amazing. But 2 was working just perfectly for me. Let me just put the side deck over here. I was using double copies of Artifact Lancia. Lancia was something that actually never came up. I did one Orcus matchup, but I actually got that pretty fast. I sided this in, but never saw it. And I'm using 2 Super Polys as my spell cards. Super Polys were amazing. I saw it once in a duel, and that actually won me the duel, so not bad. It was 1 Imperial Order because there were a lot of Sky Strikers, but I never saw this actually. The guy that actually won me the Sky Striker matchup was Anti-Spell Fragrance. This gave me just the advantage I needed to counter them, to slow them down. And then I was able to just take control of the board and win the game. I was siding also double copies of Evenly Match. I got my final copy at local. Someone traded it. Thank you very much for helping me get a playset of Evenly Match. I sided this guy in, never saw it for the duel. And I sided double copies on an Unending Nightmare. This is amazing against pendulums and any deck. Actually, Mystic Mine is very good against it also. That's why I did have it in my side deck. It worked fairly good. I didn't see it all weekend though. So the great side deck choice that I made was Witch's Strike. Witch's Strike helped me a lot in the mirror match. Some opponents that saw me use Foxy's effect actually got to see Witch's Strike, so they were thinking a lot before they played their Roar so that they didn't actually get Witch's Strike. The Subterror guy didn't expect it, so he got Witch's Strike, and after that gave up the game because it's a very powerful card. Maybe for the format, it's not set to have something to be unstable in the side deck, but I'll probably just keep it in. It's been working pretty fine for me, and with a lot of negate on board now, I can actually feel comfortable having Witch's Strike on the field. Well guys, that was my deck profile for this past weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to hit the like button. Please subscribe to my channel. Help me grow as we're getting closer to reach that 100 subs. And I'll try to bring you more content as we go by. So guys, have fun, have a great week, and see you next time.